Remember the first place you lived in right after college? Now imagine trying to fit today's life in that space. Not a pretty picture. In today's video, I want to discuss how in today's hyper-competitive real estate market, you can plan the correct moves to find the perfect home for your next stage in life. For most of us, our housing needs are cyclical. If you're newly independent or a young couple, you probably enjoy the freedom and flexibility that comes with a smaller space. Starting a new family, you might be looking for a little bit of extra space so your growing family doesn't feel stifled or crowded. And if you're an empty nester, you may be looking to downsize because you don't want to have unused space and the extra work that comes along with it. Let's take a closer look at each of these life stages. The financial and legal commitment of marriage has been a springboard to home ownership for centuries. It's no surprise that in the last couple of decades, as the average age for married couples increases, so does the age of ownership for first-time homebuyers. One of the keys for young or married couples is affordability. While this may seem like a challenge in the current real estate market, where prices are continually appreciating and homes are going for well over list price, it's still an important factor to consider. While many first-time homebuyers want to hold out for their dream home, a starter home may be the way to go to help get you into the market. One of the many advantages of going with a starter home for your first home is that it will relieve some of the financial pressure and allow you more disposable income to continue doing other things in your life that you enjoy, like hanging out with friends and going on vacations. It'll let you get into the housing market sooner to start taking advantage of home price appreciation, as well as locking in today's low interest rate. Getting into that starter home now can be a springboard for affording that dream home sooner than you think, as well as putting your money towards building equity in a home rather than renting. Another financial benefit of finding a home now is the ability to lock in historically low interest rates. While it may seem like interest rates will remain below 5% indefinitely, since that's where they've been for an extended period of time, history tells us that's not likely to be true. Over the course of the last few decades, rates have been as high as 12 to 18% in some cases when inflation has skyrocketed. And the fact that the government has been printing a lot of money to help stimulate the economy means that there are chances for inflation to happen sooner rather than later. While a sharp increase in interest rates isn't on the immediate horizon, it is something to be aware of when looking at buying a home, as a rise in interest rates will affect your ability to afford a home. There are also lifestyle factors you'll want to take under consideration when buying your first home. One of the first things is understanding your commute and travel time. Even if you're not currently having to commute into an office, understanding how much of your day could be taken up by traveling to and from work is important in understanding if a home would be right for you. Getting to know the neighborhood and lifestyle in the community is important as well. While many people will still travel to see friends and family and hang out for different occasions, a lot of your life will usually be spent in the neighborhood you're living, and you want to make sure that it fits the lifestyle that you want to have. Finally, things specific with the home are important to look at as well. However, they may not be the things you initially think of. While many people want stainless steel appliances and granite countertops, those things can be easily added to almost any home. Things that are harder to make adjustments to are the total square footage, number of bedrooms, amount of storage space, and yard space you may need to start your life. Having a game plan in place about what factors are most important to you will help you narrow down the areas, communities, and neighborhoods that might be the right fit for you and your budget. While having more space is an important factor for most young families, the number one consideration for growing families is school districts. In fact, most families would sacrifice some living space to be in the school district that they prefer. However, when you're new to an area, it can be very challenging to understand which school districts are actually the best. And online ratings only do so much, especially when different sources will have conflicting information. One of the top things that gets reported are state test scores. While they're important, other things such as extracurricular activities for sports, music, theater, and after-school and in-school programs can have a bigger impact on your child's quality of life. Also, many parents will look at friends of their kids and where they're going to school, because those bonds of friendship can be some of the most lasting impacts that school truly provides. How do you decide then what's the best school district for you and your children? That's going to be a very personal and individualized decision for you and your children. However, you want to make sure you're gathering as much information as possible, leaning on experts, parents, teachers in the area to understand the benefits and drawbacks of the different schools, and leaning on an expert like your local real estate agent to help you navigate those resources to come to the best decision. What are some lifestyle considerations for the growing family? Well, like every real estate transaction, location is key. Obviously, it will impact the school districts as we talked about, but it'll also impact those commute times that eventually most of us will have to get back to. Having a shorter commute time can be nice for spending more time with your family, as well as reduce the stress that you have when it comes to work and life in general. For considerations on the home specifically, don't forget that while your kids may be small now and spend most of the time with mom and dad throughout the day, eventually they do grow up and like to have their own space. Possibly having separate bedrooms for each child, or an upstairs or downstairs area where they can get away and do their own thing can be valuable for creating a healthy family environment. This could also help you eliminate some of the stress of having to buy or sell a home again in just a few years down the road. Looking at other layout features can be important too. Is there space available for when your kid decides to start their own band? Thinking ahead to what a typical day or week might be like, both now and a few years in the future, will help you narrow in on the things that are most important to you when trying to find that slightly larger home. Chances are you're probably not going to find every detail that you want in a home, but this will help you organize your thoughts around which items are most important for you and your growing family. If your kids are grown and out of the home, now might be the time to consider downsizing. With fewer people in the house, those extra bedrooms are just taking up space that must be heated and cooled all year round, as well as maintained and cleaned, which provides a lot of extra work for something that you may not be using. While most people under the age of 55 who purchase a house are actually increasing their square footage, the majority of people over the age of 55 who are purchasing a home are considering downsizing for those same factors. While reducing square footage is an important consideration when downsizing, it's far from the only thing you should be considering when you're looking to make your next move. If you're considering downsizing, what are the primary factors you're taking into account when considering the move? Is it solely based on having less square footage to maintain? Or are you also wanting to keep or change your current lifestyle? Perhaps you'd like to be in a community with other empty nesters, enjoying activities that aren't so kid-focused. Will you be spending more of your time traveling, perhaps to visit the grandkids? You'd like to spend less of your time maintaining and working on your home, so looking at things like newer homes or condos and townhomes where a lot of the maintenance is taken care of for you can be a huge benefit for the new lifestyle. Many empty nesters are at or near retirement age. This means the factors you're taking into consideration when buying your home not only don't revolve around school, but very quickly may not evolve around a job either. This allows you the freedom to look at locations and passions that may not have been available to you earlier in life. Living near a golf course so you can golf 5 days a week, being closer to family and friends that you don't get a chance to see often enough. These are all things you can now take into consideration with the freedom that retirement brings you. You can also look for locations that are in the city you want to live in, that revolve around the type of lifestyle you want to lead. Do you want to live downtown so you're close to all the restaurants and activities that lifestyle provides? Perhaps you want to live near a beach so you can enjoy the sun and the waves. Or you may still want to improve that golf game, and living close to the course will get you out there as many times as humanly possible. Another important factor to consider is finding a place that you can age in place in. Finding a place that's single story may be valuable if you want to stay in the place long term, and know that down the road you may lack some of the mobility that you have today. Location matters too. While I talked about a lot of the fun things people like to do, especially early in their retirement, many people still want to be close to family, not only for the chance to see their sons, daughters, and grandkids, but also as they age, being close to family is both reassuring and beneficial when things arise. Don't forget to research the local healthcare system as well to make sure they have the facilities you may need as you age in place. While it's tempting to put some of these things out of mind for the time being, thinking about them now will make your life easier down the road. One thing is for sure, life never stands still. Regardless of the milestones you're coming up on, life changes and your home will probably need to change with you. Whatever stage you're getting ready to embark on, it's helpful to come up with a plan so you are ready to face it head on. Reaching out to local experts will help give you the reassurance that the decisions you make down the road are the best for you and your family.